So I'm going to talk about establishing your own Rule 1 level. And Rule 1 is have a gun. So the idea is, what is the minimum gun you're going to carry? So I'll provide some examples, and hopefully this can help you figure out what your levels are. So some background. There was a time in my life where that P09, CZP09 with light, with optic, those were my go-tos. That is what I carried. That was my everyday carry. I didn't carry less, and the option to carry more meant carrying an additional firearm. I couldn't get a larger firearm than that, but that was it. And as I grew older, life experience, really looking at activity levels, the way I'm dressed, where I'm going, that really opened my eyes to figuring out this is not a one-size-fit-all option. I need to have various other options available. Wearing a tuxedo, that P09 really doesn't work. Well, it could, but for me, it's not going to work. And yes, I am a larger person, but I would rather not have it visible on me in a tuxedo, because tuxedos are they're custom to you. So what I found was I needed to have options that allowed me to still carry a firearm wherever I went, but I also needed to know my own capabilities. I needed to know the capabilities of the firearm. I needed to be comfortable in the caliber and in the specific ammunition. So the bare minimum for me is I will carry a 22 long in a revolver, loaded with Federal Punch ammunition. The Federal Punch works great. And that's all going to be dependent on what I'm doing, where I'm going, my activities, all of that. To go up a level, staying with revolvers, J-frames are fantastic for a throw and go option. It's shootable. Its capacity is lesser, clearly, than a semi-auto, but there's some ability with a revolver for carrying and concealment that is not as conducive with a semi-auto. So pocket carry with a J-frame is a breeze, especially with the right holster. With this, if I want to go lower profile, so pretty much all of these I have some form of a Filster holster, as well as a Filster Enigma that's all decked out and ready to move or ready to go for all of these. But with this specific J-frame, if I wanted to go lower profile, I'm just going to use the Hammer Forge hook grips as opposed to running the whole holster. And this is a throw and go option. So I'm home, I'm in bed, I'm being told I need to take a kid to an activity that I'm not familiar with or I was not aware of. It's early on a Saturday morning. Throw that on, we're gone. Around the house, keeping that on, non-issue, no problem. Something that I found has been a lot lower profile, that's smaller, lighter, and thinner, is the Bodyguard 2. Bodyguard 2 is a 380, decent capacity for what it is, surprisingly. 10 rounds in the standard magazine. I think it's 12 in the extended. I keep the flush magazine in the gun when I'm carrying it, just to have that much more concealment. But again, this is a 380, so I need to have the right ammunition for this. I'm carrying Buffalo Bore. And it's a full metal jacket. I don't want any expansion. I just want penetration with this guy. Also, another Filster, as well as a micro Enigma for this little guy. Super low profile. This is something I could be carrying in the Enigma in a tux without any problem, just due to its overall size, its footprint. It is thin. Now, some people are hearing this and going, well, there's no way in hell I'm not going to carry a revolver. I'm not going to carry a 22. I'm not carrying a 380. I need more gun. There are still plenty of options with that. And the SIG 365 has been a great option. Before the Bodyguard came out, this was my lower profile semi-auto carry. When it came to, I want to have enough gun to be able to shoot okay with, have the ammunition that I'm comfortable with, and also a Filster holster. One of the things what's nice about this, though, is it is so little tiny. It's a little thick for pocket carry comparing this to a J-frame, there are aspects of a J-frame that's a little more conducive for pocket carry compared to the angles of the semi-auto, but this is still a tiny little viable guy. So going a step up beyond that level one, or that rule one, I found was the fuse. And I wound up buying one of these because I thought the concept behind it I really liked. I was interested in the macros, and then these came out, and this really got my interest up because this is a dream gun from 10 years ago. It is compact, it is thin, the capacity is it's 17, or I think it's 21 with the extended magazines. It has everything that we were sending off to other companies to have done. Sights are decent. The optic seems to work so far. Forward serrations, the texturing on the grip has been effective. Magwell, for me, is always nice. It's keeping my hand a little higher, tighter up on the gun. The gun shoots nice. It shoots like a full-size gun, but it's still somewhat compact. It's still somewhat smaller. But this for me is almost ideal for concealed carry. And again, though, I'm not a small person, 6'5", 250. That, though, really has a nice balance compared to what I used to carry, the P09 or the Roland Special or all kinds of other things, various Glock 17s, 45s, you name it. So this whole thing is a balance of your capabilities, the capabilities of the gun, what your ammunition selection is, so on and so forth. Now, the ultimate carry, though, the true ultimate carry, clearly is the Beretta Tomcat and 32 ACP. I think it's a 7-round capacity with can. It doesn't get any better than this. This is, and I'm kind of joking, but at the same time, if I wound up buying a holster for this, I'd probably be carrying it a lot more. I am a fan of 32. 32 ACP is actually a really cool caliber. I've made podcasts about it, written about it. Human anatomy hasn't changed sufficiently to make the 32 not be effective on humans. It's all about that shot placement. And it has put down a lot of people. It just was 100 years ago. Human anatomy hasn't changed since. But yeah, the bottom line with all this is figure out what your minimum is. Assess what your normal activities are. Also assess what those outliers are. If you're going to the beach, how are you dressed for that? What's your activity going to be? Do you have sufficient options for all of these activities? Or are you stuck with just like the P09? And it's a big gun. It's a great shooting gun, but it's larger and it's more difficult to conceal for most. So that's all. Pay attention to this stuff. When it comes time for that next gun purchase, you might want to consider this. You might want to consider, okay, what's your minimum standard? And you might need to fill that role. And it might be a 22. It might be a 22 revolver. At the very least, 22 revolvers are fun to shoot. We'll talk to you later.